Well, bullying has become a major concern here in the U.S., but there is a movement in place aimed at stopping it. One of the initiatives is the National No Name Calling Week that's coming up on January 23rd through the 27th. And here to tell us more about it is Roger Dinwiddie, CEO of STARS, Students Taking a Right Stand. Roger, welcome to More at Midday.
Thanks so much. Good to be here.
All right, of course, an important topic today. We're talking about bullying. Let's talk about the relationship that you see between the lack of civility and the bullying in our schools and in our communities.
Well, I think it's, the important issue is there's a ton of negative speech in our country right now, period. Nightly cable news shows, the talking heads, political issues all over the place, with people just not engaging in very civil discourse. There's nothing wrong with having conflict and debate about critical issues, but the problem is those issues often become the source of just horrible negative speech towards people that often perpetrate lies and just untruths. And so I think the whole modeling, if you will, of the lack of civility in our culture has an impact on the way not only kids treat each other, but the way we all treat each other. So that's what No Name Calling Week is all about, is just trying to create a more civil discourse amongst people.
Absolutely, and that's what STARS is working at. Yeah. They want to work at aiming at the lack of civility, but also they're fighting bullying in all forms, even cyberbullying.
Yeah, there was a great quote a few weeks ago from a young man at a conference I attended, and he said, there is no such thing any longer between online and offline world for kids. It's just one world. Right. And I think that's really the critical issue. Bullying now, with cyberbullying being such a critical issue, is there's no escape from it. And one of the factors in cyberbullying that's very different from traditional forms of bullying is this whole notion of disinhibition, where kids can sit behind a keyboard and say things that they would never say in face-to-face communications with one another. Right. So a large part of what we're going to do is talk about that piece as well, and how to really appropriately have good netiquette, if you will, and good etiquette in the cyber world, not just in the traditional speech that we all have with one another.
Exactly. Now, how does STARS work specifically with schools in our community to really help and fight that?
Well, we do a couple things, and the number one piece is we really work to help staff members, school personnel of all kinds, not just teachers in the classroom, but administrators, counselors, and other people, to really have a focus point on training about what the best practices are in bullying prevention. And the second piece we also do is work directly with young people. We have staff who are in schools in the Middle Tennessee area that work one-on-one with kids who are struggling with either being the target of someone else's bullying or who are doing it themselves. And then we have leadership training that's really focused on empathy development and trying to really step up to the plate, being appropriate bystanders. Because the good news is, in schools, most kids detest bullying and don't want anything to do with it. And the research is real clear on that. High as 80%, 90% of kids feel sorry for when somebody's being bullied. Right. Problem is they don't step up and do anything. So the Move to Stand project that we're involved with at STARS is one of those initiatives that we're really trying to implement to help kids take appropriate pro-social behavior.
Right, you're really helping out a lot. Now, of course, a lot of parents are out there and they want to help out. Absolutely. And they may feel kind of they can't be there with their child at all times. So what can they do to make a difference?
Well, one of the important things is to not miss those golden moments where kids talk and adults are too prepared to give answers rather than just listen. And that goes for both the fact of whether your child's bullying others or getting bullied themselves. If your child's bullying others, one of the important things to stress is the firm limits and consequences that it won't be tolerated, because it isn't tolerated in the workplace and other environments, and it shouldn't be tolerated in their kids' lives. And if their child's being bullied, one of the important things to do is to remember, make sure you're giving plenty of space for that child to feel comfortable talking to you about the issue. And if they're being cyberbullied, one of those things that we really need to help kids and parents understand is stop, don't try to respond to people who are bullying online. Make sure your kids know how, and you as a parent know how to use block sender technology. And then the third piece is make sure you talk to your kids and you encourage them to talk to you and to tell a trusted adult if they're not comfortable. Because one of the great problems kids have is they're afraid if they talk to adults about it, they're going, in fact, to lose all their privilege.
Right.
So exactly. Important issues to talk to.
Definitely. Now, of course, the initiative is No Name Calling Week, which kicks off next week. What do you have going on leading up to that?
Well, we've got a couple of articles that are coming up in the paper paper on in the Tennessean on Sunday, and so we're really hopeful that people will look at that. We've also got information that you can find at Facebook, Stars Nashville on Facebook, as well as just our website, starsnashville.org. But the big thing of those articles, we've got a young man who's also going to be sharing a story about it, and we'll have some other articles in Tennessean on Sunday that'll just kind of point to what parents and others can do in the community to address the issue.
All right, thank you, Roger.
Thanks
Great information. Best of luck for next week as well. The Stars Youth Opportunity Center is located at 1704 Charlotte Pike in Nashville. For more information, you can call 615-279-0058 or log on to starsnashville.org. We also have a link up on the More at Midday section of WSMV.com.